Hey, hey, good morning. How's everybody doing today? It is Big Nate, and this is the Big Nate Streaming Circus in honor of the XFL and the lack of their. I'm wearing my Seattle Dragons memorabilia now because they're no longer in existence, those motherfuckers. Yes, I cuss on the stream, so if you have small children, teach them cuss words because that's part of being an American. You can say whatever you want, apparently. You can be whoever you want. You can look like you ever want and identify who you ever. You can joke on your own spit. Oh, man. So if you're following me on Facebook, I can only read your comments if I actually look at Facebook. So that's what I'm doing periodically if you see me look away from the camera. Other than that, you can follow me on YouTube and leave comments, and it will show up in this nifty little chat window that I can then overlay onto the stream. So as soon as we start getting some chats, I will say hello, chat, and that's on YouTube or Ustream. Should be able to see that. But welcome to another edition of Big Nate Streaming Circus. This is day 2 of a week-long challenge. Originally, it was going to be a 30-day challenge, but I'm just doing it a week at a time so I can try to complete a set moderate goals. We actually had that on one of our episodes where we were talking about things. And I got something on my screen here. Why is it? Okay, there we go. I got it off. Oh, there's another one. God, I reclean my screen. Cleaning the screen right here. We're going to clean the screen real quick. You're clean. There. No more smudge marks from the porn channels. So, and if you're worried about that, the only porn I've ever really watched is food porn. So hashtag food porn for the win because I like food. I'm a big man. I like to eat my emotions away. If I'm hurting, I'll have something to eat, and that's why I'm so large. If you're interested, as I was saying, this is a 7-day of a 30-day possible challenge. At least 28. I'm trying to stream at least a little bit every day. I'm trying to get myself out there. And your help in this matter could be very, very forthcoming for me because I'm trying to reinvent myself. I'm trying to do what I was meant to do. I was trying to show people, the bigger side of me, I guess, with my man boobs. Jesus, this thing is not flattering at all. It's a little cold this morning. I think I got nipples. Jesus. Look, anything goes on my show. I'm going to say whatever I'm going to say. And if you don't like it, I hate to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway, but you can fuck off because I don't care what you think of me, okay? I'm going to say whatever I think is right. Now, to bookend that, though, if I make a mistake, if I am wrong about something, I am more than likely to recant from that statement and clarify that statement and give you better education on something. I'm not going to tell you things that are wrong all the time, but I do make mistakes because I guess what? I'm human. Why is my beard so cattywampus? Look at this. Is this side longer than this side? I mean, look, it looks like this side is longer than this side. What is going on? I'm going to have to trim that up. That's just terrible. It's terrible. You see? Wait, do I have anything in here I can do that with? We're going to find out. I thought I saw some stuff in there. Oh, here we go. Live air grooming. Is this on reverse mode? I don't know. I just don't know if it's on reverse mode or not. Let's see what the thing says. Oh, that's the volume. Oh. Can you guys hear me okay? All right, that's this side. So I gotta be really careful. Try to even this up. Oh, no. Oh. Let's go like that. Does it look better? Ah! I fixed it. Look at that. Goodbye, old grayness. It's gone. Can't get it back. Well, it'll grow back eventually. Let me clean up my station now that I've got a trash can right here. Boom, like that. Yeah, that looks a little better. I'll have to clean it up later. But let's see. The wife's gonna be mad that I'm using her stuff. I didn't really plan this out. I just jumped on. I'm actually cooking a bean burger. Ouch! Ow! That hurt. You guys gotta be careful when you comb in your beard. Ow! 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 And the mustache. There, all groomed up, ready to go, looking sexy. Better? Okay. So now that you have your grooming tips done for the day, let's move on to more serious things. Let's check the Facebooks because I got to check the Facebooks. Oh, it's Otnell Torres. Hello, Otnell. And Eric Johnson. Hello, everybody. Hello. Can you hear me? Are you able to hear me? I hope so. We're going to see that. Oh, wow. It actually comes out on the air. I didn't realize that. So I've got the air tags on. But it's delayed. Let's see how long it's delayed. 1. Oh, okay. So there's about a 15-second delay. Loud and clear. Thank you, Eric Johnson, for hooking me up there. I can actually just stay on Facebook, it looks like, because it's, and use that as my studio. It's good to see you guys. Thank you for joining me, Eric. Thank you for joining me, Otnell. I really appreciate it. Oh, well, that didn't work. I got to keep the camera on. The camera's on the computer. And when I look at, well, sorry, I got a little. Anyway, so if you're talking to me, I will check periodically. And God, this is so weird. I've got to upgrade so I can get this so that it's not read only. It's just one of those things. So yeah. Because I have a chat overlay, you can leave chats for me here. Can't post messages on some channels, it says. Okay. I can do it on YouTube. So if you're watching me live on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, which is Big Nate Robbins, I believe. Let me just double check that just to make sure while I'm here on the computers. And let's see, YouTube channel. Who am I on YouTube? I'm checking my, it's at Nate Robbins. You can find me there. I'm going to view my channel. There it is. Why do I have that on? I've got to manage. This is ridiculous. Yeah. I have a live show though. It shows that I have a live show. So let's see what that looks like. Powered by Restream.io. Okay. Let's give it a like. I don't know where you would leave comments though from this. Let's see. Oh, there it is. So off to the right, there's a place for chat. Okay. And then I can leave 100% mark. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. And I go back. Okay. So I'm going to leave this in, I'm going to copy this. So now I can turn this off because I can hear myself. Let's see. I can turn that off. And then Yeah, thoughts about the bridge in Baltimore. That was kind of a scary detail. There was some controversy when I first heard it of whether or not. So if you want to leave a comment, you have to go to my YouTube channel, or I'll be checking the Facebooks. But Baltimore Bridge collapse. I still have to look into that more. Let's just go there. Let's see what's going on with that. So let's go to here, powered by Bing and Microsoft Engine. Not Bing, I'm in Baltimore. Baltimore Bridge collapse. Well, it looks like a container ship hit one of the, and it was like in slow motion, so I think they were able to stop the cars, but we're going to go ahead and recovery efforts. So let's see, how many people died after the Baltimore Bridge? 6 workers are presumed dead after the Baltimore Key Bridge collapse. Here's everything we know. The Coast Guard suspends search for missing persons. Now, I don't know how rapid that water is out there, but they could have been swept down river. Their bodies will eventually show up, unless they're pinned underneath, traffic and stuff like that. So, is the music bothering you guys? Do you guys want the music to come off, or is it pretty chill, or should I just turn it down? Let me know what your thoughts on there. I'll try to turn it down just a little. I want it up a little bit. There. Let's try that. Well, let's dig into this. I mean, the Francis Scott Key. You know who Francis Scott Key is, right? Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore collapses after it is hit by, it looks like a container ship. Let's go ahead and go here. We're going to go to a shared screen. Here we go.
Spanned a vital shipping route to the port of Baltimore. Authorities were searching for 6 people who had been working on the bridge. Now it's a recovery mission.
Based on the length of time that we've gone in this search, the extensive search efforts that we've put into it, the water temperature, that at this point we do not believe that we're going to find any of these individuals still alive. We are going to suspend the active search and rescue efforts.
2 other people were rescued from the water. CBS Evening News anchor Nora O'Donnell has more from Baltimore.
Dramatic video captured the horrifying moment the massive cargo ship, nearly 1,000 feet long, crashed into a support column on the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore.
The whole bridge just fell down. Stars, whoever, everybody. The whole bridge just collapsed.
Within seconds, a large portion of the bridge collapses, plunging into the Patapsco River.
We are still investigating what happened, but we are quickly gathering details. The preliminary investigation points to an accident. We haven't seen any credible evidence of a terrorist attack.
A closer look at the video shows the ship heading south at about 1:24 a.m. when the lights go dark but quickly on again. A minute later, plumes of black smoke can be seen billowing from the ship's chimney. Once again, it appears the ship loses its lights. A minute after they come back on, the vessel slams into the bridge.
Never would you think that you would physically see the Key Bridge tumble down like that. It looked like something out of an action movie.
Sources tell CBS News multiple alarms rang out on ship. After several failed attempts to fix the loss of propulsion, the pilot issued a mayday call, giving officials time to stop traffic on the bridge.
These people are heroes. They saved lives last night.
The impact of the crash was so loud, it jolted Donald Heinbuch, who lives nearby, out of his sleep.
You up? What did it feel like?
It felt just like an earthquake. We've had some earthquakes here before, and that's exactly what it felt like. And associated with that was the rolling thunder, which I thought was very unusual.
What was the rolling thunder?
It was the sound of the bridge collapsing into the Patapsco River.
Yeah.
Well, it's just incredible to see this firsthand. I mean, we are not far from this. And of course, this bridge carries some 30,000 people every day. It is a major commuter route, and now it is completely shut down.
The FBI using robotic cameras underwater
like
to search
5
for
years
6
to
construction
rebuild.
workers who were on the bridge.
Baltimore's
They are
kinda
now
fucked.
presumed dead by their employer. 2 survivors were pulled from the chilly water this morning. 24 members of the NTSB are on the site leading the investigation. They want to examine the voyage data recorder.
It will be critical. It's a critical piece of our investigation, which is why we have a recorder's team here.
Authorities say the Singapore-flagged vessel was headed from Baltimore to Sri Lanka, going 9 miles per hour. None of the crew was hurt. Today, President Joe Biden said the federal government will, quote, move heaven and earth to reopen the port and pay for the rebuilding.
I told them we're going to send all the federal resources they need as we respond to this emergency. I mean, all the federal resources. And we're going to rebuild that port together.
And Evening News anchor Nora O'Donnell joins us now from the site in Baltimore. Nora, what's the latest you're hearing about the search effort and investigation effort, and how hard is that to do given the weather?
Yeah, it is cold here and the waters are chilly. But what we heard from federal, state and local authorities is that all day long they have been operating as if this is a search and rescue operation. But we did hear from the construction company today.
Sorry about that. I hit the wrong button. Things happen, right? Much like a container ship. So, yeah, no, it's that's crazy. That's just nutso. I wonder how many conspiracy theorists out there is like, well, it's a Singapore-based ship headed to Sri Lanka. What the fuck is in Sri Lanka that we got to send stuff to? No, I'm turning into conspiracy theory. And of course, because it's in Baltimore and that's in Maryland and that's very close to Washington, D.C., the federal government's going to respond. Fine. I can understand that. But I can tell you this much, that if it was like here in Seattle, I mean, I don't know how long it took them to fix that bridge that was up on I-5 that broke down. But they had ways around that. They could detour traffic. They could do different things like that. But that's interesting. That's really interesting. At least the guys did get a mayday out. They were able to stop cars. Now, the video you watch is a time lapse. It's all sped up. And so what took probably a minute or two to watch on the screen is actually took like probably 10-15 minutes. So they had time to respond. Why there were still workers on the bridge that didn't get off, I don't know. I mean, there's got to be somebody that could talk to them on a radio, call them on a cell phone. I don't know where the breakdown of that communication was, but there's apparently six lives that were lost that were construction crew on the bridge at the time. They were doing routine maintenance probably. And that's a shame. They're presumed dead now, so I don't know. We're gonna have to find out one way or another, but I'm sure they will. So let's see. I've got a note from the wife. Just make sure remember the plane should land at 3:30 tomorrow. I'll do see you. All right. So I will have to pick up the wife tomorrow from Boise. There you go. Hey, it's Tom. Yeah, it was very sad, Tom. Very sad. Thanks for sticking around until I got a chance to respond to you. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Because we live in a capitalistic society. I mean, did you see that container ship? And how massively, I mean, it's just ridiculous how much they stick on one of these boats. I've seen video where like they get caught in a storm and containers go flying off into the ocean. And they just chalk it up to like, okay, the ship's insured for a certain amount. Anything that gets damaged on it, you know, oh well. I mean, yeah, it's goods and it doesn't make much difference. But the reason why it's even there is the amount of consumption that the world is using. That has to. I mean, that's the volume in which. I mean. How much does that material actually going to last? And it's going to Sri Lanka. What the hell's in Sri Lanka? I mean, besides some people, you know what? That's just ridiculous. Let's see here. All right, so Sri Lanka is an island nation in the South Asian Pacific, it looks like. Let's see here. Sri Lankan, historically known as the Ceylon, an official democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka, is an island country in South Asia that lies on the Indian Ocean, southwest of the Bay of Bombay, separated by the Indian Peninsula, by the Gulf of Manair. I'm not probably saying that right, and the Palk Strait. It shares maritime border with. Man, they got some weird ass names. I'm sorry. Anyway, Sri Lankan. Okay. How many people are in Sri Lanka? All right, so they're a Buddhist nation mostly. They have some Hinduism, some Muslims, a little bit of Christianity, it looks like. Let's see. Population in 2022 estimated was 22 million, which is the 60th highest population in the world. The density is 42nd. Gross. Wow. They're not doing too good. The nation's in debt. So they've got people there. They need goods, you know, whether or not they were getting them from the United States or what. But it's a little island nation off the coast of India. Yeah, Sri Lanka. And their flag is weird looking. It's definitely different. It has a green and an orange stripe on a yellow background with it looks like a lion holding a sword. Or is that a tiger? I don't know. Anyway, that's crazy. Sri Lanka. That's where that Singapore-based ship was headed. Was to Sri Lanka, but hit a bridge in Baltimore. Yeah, it probably lost power more than twice before it started getting filmed, honestly. I grew up on Orcas Island, and sometimes the ferries would lose power. And we had an incident when I was working at the resort on Orcas that was the Elwha hit our dock and took our dock out because they lost power. Yeah, that's a thing. So at least none of the crew died. It looks like they recovered some survivors in the water, but there are still 6 people that are presumed, lost to the cause. So they don't think they're alive. It's a recovery effort now rather than a rescue effort. I guess that's the difference between the two R's. Rescue means there's somebody possibly alive out there, and recovery means that they're looking for bodies to bring closure to those families. That's sad. It's very sad, but it doesn't negate the fact that all this stuff happens, and people that are religious would say, "Oh, it happens for a reason." The only reason that it happened is because of people need stuff, I guess. I mean, if it's food that they're transporting, yeah, that's a good thing, right? That's humanitarian. But if it's like televisions, who gives a fuck? Now, if it's computers and microphones and monitors, then that's important because then they would be able to stream. I'm being coy. I'm sorry. That's just stupid. But yeah, no, it's the world is definitely a place that can yeah. How long? I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how long it's going to take the federal government to get that port back up and running. And what are they going to do to fix this bridge? I mean, are they going to build the same kind of bridge? I don't know how old that bridge was. I mean, there's going to be impact statements. I mean, if the bureaucrats are going to get involved, and it's going to take like forever for that bridge to get put back up. And I think that they say 30,000 people use that bridge daily. In the scope of things, 30,000 travelers really isn't that much. I mean, for a bridge daily, I think that there could be a lot more in different areas. I mean, we'd have to look at that. I mean, what rank is that bridge? But it's not about the bridge. It's about the loss of life. It's about, why those guys were out there and what they were doing to maintain that bridge. Obviously it was important to the economy, but whatever. I mean, it's sad to think about. Oh God. Oh, sorry. I had a yawn moment there. I guess that would be considered yawn kipper. All these religions got their holidays and stuff, and I'm just like, at least it's not like in America. You get some nations, they really get behind what they believe in their religion, and I'm okay with that. I mean, if you want to believe something, at least go all in. In America, we've taken the Christ holiday, the birth of our beloved martyr that is Christ, and made it into a holiday for commercialism. Same with Turkey Day, which is to celebrate the people being independent of a nation. So that was a knee slapper. Thanks, Tom. Oh God, that was like a bad dad joke. What are you talking about, knee slapper? That was terrible. Oh my God. So how you been doing, Tom? You want to be on the show? Just let me know. I can bring you right up on air. But if you want to sit there in the chat room, I'm more than happy to have comments. It brings eyes to the format. Again, this is Big Nate, and this is the Big Nate Streaming Circus. part of a week-long challenge, formerly a month-long challenge that just never happened. I got too busy with work and life and stuff, and I wasn't able to finish the 30 days. But I'm finishing the 7 days. I'm doing the 7 days, either before or after work. The times are going to vary from time to time. We're going to do what we got to do. So, and I'm doing this so I can build up. Once I get to, let's say, 100 viewers. All right. Hey, Angie Kemple, thank you. Well, hello, dear. Thank you for bringing those. I'm assuming it was a Lady Vikes softball game against Coopville yesterday. Sorry, I was being so ball busting, but on the Coopville side, I just don't like Coopville. Something about a prison colony that doesn't sit well with me. I guess it's my relations to the Australian homeland, maybe. I don't know. You're working while you watched. I appreciate that. Oh man. Well, Miss Kemple, it's very nice to see you again. As I was saying, welcome to Big Nate Streaming Circus. This is what I do now, I guess. At least I'm attempting to. 7-day challenge. I'm going to get through these first 7 days, and then we'll take it from there, and we'll make another challenge. If I can get to 100 views, I'm actually thinking about if I can get to 100 people daily that chime into the show, are participating on a daily basis, then I'm going to go ahead and pay for a subscription and start branding it better. But I've got to get some viewership. I've got to get people looking at my stuff. That's why I'm on YouTube. That's why I'm on Facebook. Facebook is more, I have an account, and if I were to activate the stars and stuff, people can leave stars for me. I'm not quite at that moment yet, but it will be. And I'm not your average day streamer. I can sit here and game, and you can watch me play games and stuff. No, I want to be interactive. I want to be talking to the people. Blah, 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 blah. You know what? You can talk over my stream. That's fine. That's fine. Now you're talking over my stream. I get you. Yeah, I misread that. I thought you were saying blah, 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 that I just talked too much. But no, you're talking on my stream. I talk on your stream. We're coexisting. We're doing things together. As former Orca site person that I am, growing up on Orcas in the late 80s, graduating in 90. I forgot. Wait, if you've got kids in high school, then you're how much younger are you than me? Not asking your age. I'm just saying what year you graduated. I can do the math. No, she's not going to say anything like that. It's a 15-second delay. We'll come back to that answer from Miss Kemple. So I'm 9 years older than you. So you're just hitting that sweet spot where you're still young enough to try to get things done, and your kids are getting old enough to get into high school and out of high school and get ready for college and stuff like that. So, okay. All right. So you're right behind me. Yeah. My kids are a little bit older. Is that supposed to be me? Or is that you, Tom? Oh man. Now, Angie, are you married into the Kemple line, or are you actually a Kemple? Because I can't remember. Were you formerly somebody else, Angie something, or were you always Angie Kemple and you're just going by your surname? Because I know the Kemples. And I know you, but you were so much younger than me. It never really dawned on me. I mean, you were just a little kid when I graduated. I mean, you were what, 3rd, 4th grade? Something like that. You probably watched me play football. Maybe, if I'm lucky. I'm a Kimple, Nate. Okay. Well, I don't know these things. Dan Kimple is your dad. Okay. All right. So here's my question. If you're a Kimple and your dad was Dan Kimple, right? Were you ever married? Or, well, I shouldn't ask that. That's a private question. So it's kind of weird. Okay, so my sister was married, got a divorce, and got remarried. So when she got remarried, they had a kid. But my niece took my brother-in-law, my new brother-in-law, never married, thanks God. So you just got lucky twice, or you just met some dude? I don't know. I don't want to get into your personal life. I'm sorry. God damn. You know what? I'm happy for you. Where's your son at? I mean, you said he was 21, correct? Oh boy, I don't know if I should be talking to her about this stuff. So Angie was never married. Okay, Dan Kimple is your dad, who I know, and he knows me. He knows of me. I don't know how well he knows me, but I know the Kimples. Okay, thank you. I'm sorry. So I'm assuming that's goes to college in West Virginia. What made him want to go out there? Was there like a scholarship? He's got an athletic scholarship for a goalie, a keeper, okay, in soccer. So he's a goalkeeper in soccer and got an athletic scholarship to play for West Virginia State or West Virginia University. That's pretty good. That's really good, actually. I have a long history of playing. We were one of the first high school soccer teams on Orcas. Yeah, our coach worked for old Palco, Terry. Yeah, no, we had a good time with that. Neither of those. Okay. Okay. You just said West Virginia. I picked the two biggest schools. So it's probably, you know what, if they are big enough to give him a scholarship, then that's awesome. That's awesome. Good for him. Oh, Terry still coaches. Will you please say hi for me when you see him, please? That Nate Robbins, the big Natester, the one and only Nate RXR, because that was the name I got to put on my jersey, was Nate RXR, because Steve McIntyre, all right, Stephen McIntyre, gave me the moniker of Railroad when he was announcing a high school football game. So it was Nate Railroad Robbins, because of how I plowed the field so that Mark Bryan and Ryan Carpenter could run the ball. Remind me in the fall. Okay, Alexa, set a reminder for September 1st to tell Angie Kimple to tell Terry hi for me.
Good morning, Nate. What time September 1st should I remind you?
6 a.m.
Okay, I'll remind you September 1st at 6 a.m. By the way, you have 3 new notifications. Do you want to hear them?
No, thank you, but thank you for being here, Alexa. See, it messes her up when you actually call her by name after you've already initiated her. It kind of like, well, she's listening for the Alexa. Alexa, say hi to everybody on the stream. She didn't understand. Alexa, say hello to everybody on my stream. not understanding that. Alexa, are you there? I got two different Alexas. I got one on one side of the desk and one on the other. Alexa, say hi to Angie.
Hi.
There you go. Alexa said hi, my co-host. Nap time. What do you mean nap time? It's the middle of the day. You work nights or something? All right, Tom, are you a little shy or am I a little shy? Or am I not shy enough? We're going to find out those answers when we continue here on Big Nate Streaming Circus. Brought to you by Templin's, formerly the grocery store that everybody knew and loved. That's the question for you, Angie. Do you remember Templin's? Yeah, Tom. She can be really annoying sometimes. Good. I'm glad you're old enough to remember Templin's before it became Island Market. I remember when they built Island Market. Man, that was like, oh man, we're moving up in the world. We're actually going to have a grocery store. So yeah, Templin's, that was a ways back. Okay, you know the flower shop that was there in the Templin's complex? My great uncle owned that. The one that was right next to the pharmacy, and then there was a bookstore right next to that. So at the pharmacy, the flower shop, the bookstore, Templin's. That was the four businesses that were in there. Now there's a ton. I think Tom and Stephanie's shop is still in there too. You used to have the one with the train. Is that train still in that back building, or did they take that down? I don't remember that. Okay. Well, that was a little bit before your time. You probably weren't even born yet, unfortunately. Maybe you were just a baby. But yeah, it didn't last my entire time there. My Uncle Dick died. We had to bury him. And yeah, that was sad. But you know what? It was what it was. He had a coolest cat named Pooh. That's right. He called his cat Pooh. When was the last time I was on Orcus? 25th graduation. That was 10 years ago. Yeah. It would be, yeah, it was my 25th graduation reunion. Yeah, 25th anniversary of my graduation. So that would have been 9 years ago. Yeah, 9 years. 9 years ago. Yeah, it's been a while, and even after that, I think I'd only been up maybe. I got married on Orcus 22 years ago this August. Yeah, 2002, August 2002, August 24th, 2002. I got married on an island in Washington State. Yeah, you remember Don Yearley's aunt? Actually, it was his grandmother. Don Yearley's grandmother, Mona, and her brother lived on Yellow Brick Road, which is weird for me because I was in the play Wizard of Oz. But she allowed us to go up there. I had to mow the lawn, get everything set up. But we basically threw our own wedding for like under $1,200. And instead of getting gifts from everybody, we had everybody bring a dish for the potluck. And so everybody got fed, and we had a good time, and we had music. And Lee Pang, if you remember Lee Pang, I think his parents still live out there towards Raccoon Point. But he took the photos. My dad officiated. Don Yurley was my best man because he's my best friend. That's right, Don Yurley. Sorry, Tom. Don Yurley came first. Yeah, I probably wouldn't recognize the town anymore. When I was there last time, I was shocked to how much it had grown. But maybe, you know, I was gonna come back this last year, but I got really sick and I had to cancel my thing. David Yurley had those comedy nights, and I was gonna come up there, and Becky Laporte was gonna actually see me, and so was Melissa Ray. But I got so sick, I actually wasn't able to go. I got really, really, really sick, and so I had to cancel my comedy debut. Yeah, I was going to become a comedian there for a minute. It's going to be my very first show. I don't know what I would have talked about. I don't know if I would have been funny enough to talk about anything. We're going to have to figure that one out. But yeah, David Yurley invited me, was going to pay for my travel to come up there for a night and try to bring some crowd in, you know, to the comedy show. It was called Kraken Comedy Night. And it was at the Seaview Theater. So big kudos to Dave Yurley and his success. He's a local businessman. And I mean, I remember all those kids. There's Matt Carpenter out at the Deer Harbor Inn. You know, the Carpenters have owned the Deer Harbor Inn forever. And he's the head chef, I guess, out there now and running things. So with his brother Ryan. Ryan obviously graduated with me. Matt graduated with my sister. So oh yeah. Just the work over last summer has ruined it. So many big buildings now. Sad. Well, it's called progress for a reason, Angie. Can't, you know, people have different. I remember when the Children's Museum by Jim Brado built that museum there at the end of the street by the school, and that was a big building, and people were like up in arms about that. I guess the Island Market was probably the biggest building that was built on Orcas since I was there. So, well, no, then there's that shopping complex across from Doty's where Shelley Morgan's mom had a shop there on the corner, antique shop, and then there's Caldwell Banker, I think, was in there. I think there was a couple lawyers that were upstairs or something. Anyway, that building was always kind of weird to me. It just seemed, I don't know, like almost thrown together. I think it sits adjacent to the museum grounds, if I'm not mistaken. But I will get back up there. I plan on coming back up there eventually. So Orcas has always, got my heart. When I hear people that live, they say, "Oh, I've got relatives in Friday Harbor," and I'm like, "I'm sorry, fucking hate San Juan Island." I just do. I just don't like them. Don't like anything about San Juan. I mean, how can you, right? So that's craziness. Just utter craziness. Oh, man. Well, I hope everybody's enjoying themselves. I appreciate you guys being here today. Time flies when you're having fun, right? I mean, that's what we got going on. We've already been on the air for almost an hour. Can I make it the next 9.5 minutes? Hey, it's Jeremy Wheeler. Hello. We are mortal enemies. That's right. Screw those Wolverines. We hate them. Jeremy Wheeler's made an appearance, another good friend of mine here on the mainland. So let's recap the show really quick. We talked about the Baltimore bridge collapse that was requested by my friend who lives in West Virginia, or actually lives in Virginia, where your son goes to school in West Virginia. He's close to West Virginia. That's Eric Johnson. He's another good friend of mine. Lived on Orcas. So if you ever need to get a hold of somebody, you can look up Eric Johnson on my feed and talk to him to go find your son who was out partying or something out in the hills of West Virginia. Who knows? Let's see. Jeremy Wheeler, I've known him for a good spell now. Helped out with my my daughter's wedding. My daughter got married 2 years ago this June, and they have a baby, and she'll be 15 months on the 2nd of April. That's right, 15 months old, and she's little Leilani is awesome. We gotta get him to E-Rock. E-Rock. It's funny that you say that. That he was E-Rock 2-Rock. Yeah, I'm a grandpa. I've been a grandpa for the better part of a year now. The first one. There's only one first. Okay, just remember that. There's the first, and then there's the first one for my son. But I'm gonna treat all my grandkids equally, except for the first one. She's special to me. I was going through a very hard time when she was born. I was actually out of work at the time for medical leave, and I got to spend a lot of time taking care of her during that time, watching her, making sure she's okay. And she was just a little baby. God, she was just a month and a half, 2 months old when I was watching her during the day. I mean, my wife would work, and I'd be in the bedroom with her, letting her sleep because she slept most of the time. But I'd change her diaper, and we'd play. And then my daughter switched jobs, and she was able to find a job that, I did need her. That's exactly what it is. New lease on life. I mean, there's nothing like, you asked your dad about becoming a grandfather for the first time. He'll agree with me. That's probably the best thing that a man or a woman that love their children. And here's the best part. It's like I get another chance to do better. You know what I mean? I get to see the fruits of my labor. I brought these kids up. They have their kids now. I mean, if I brought up a kid and they were a piece of shit and they had shitty kids, that would be on me, right? But because I have good kids and they have a good grandchild for me to love on, it makes it even that much better. Because that just reflects, I mean, yeah, I'm being a little selfish, but damn it, I've spent the better parts of my life raising somebody else, you know, and I don't bitch about that. That's just part of the being who I am. Yeah, right? I can imagine your dad on an excavator with him digging up holes. Right? Kimple excavators. They're the best. Yeah, I remember your dad driving his rigs and stuff all over the place. I mean, it was him or Chuck Negretto, Charles Negretto. The Negrettos are, you know, island excavators. So I actually worked for island excavation for, you know, when I got out of the Marine Corps. My dad and his toys. Those aren't toys. Those are money makers, girl. They're the ones that helped you get through high school. He was good, though. He was one of the best. Whenever I saw him operate, I was really quite impressed. I come from a long line of heavy. I mean, I was a heavy equipment mechanic in the Marine Corps. I just never had any passion for it. I mean, I could have made a lot of money. I got offers to go work for like Case, John Deere, Cummings. They all had, offers out to former military to come work for them. He's logging too. Jesus Christ, everybody's logging. Does he hang out with Rocky Arndt? Is Rocky Arndt even still around? I don't even know. See, I used to work for the Arndt family. Charles Arndt. Oh, your son's joining the Marines when he graduates? Is he going to go to be an officer? He's going to go to Annapolis. Going to join the Marines. Well, tell him that if he's going to be an officer in the Marine Corps, tell him that you're only as good as the men that you lead. So lead them well. And don't do anything, or don't have them do anything that you wouldn't do yourself. So he's in ROTC. Good for him. Look, I enjoyed my time as a Marine. But I had some issues with being a Marine. I mean, I made it through boot camp. I made it through school. I got to the fleet. And because I lived on Orcas Island, I didn't have a lot of those worldly experiences yet, which I'm hoping that the college will teach him. But living on Orcas, you kind of live a sheltered life. I mean, you really don't see a lot of things. You don't have to experience a lot of different things. And so I wasn't used to the fact that I had to take orders from somebody that I knew that I was smarter than. That was the hardest part for me. And when I had these idiots that were not so much the officers, but the NCOs, the non-commissioned officers, the sergeants, the staff sergeants, and gunnery sergeants, they would ride me for no reason just because I was who I was. And it really made things difficult. I got into some trouble. I had to go to the brig. While I was in the brig, my mom and my dad had a heart attack, another one. And my mom had refractured her ankle. So I was like, oh, I got to get home and take care of them. That was my mentality. So I wanted to get out. I wanted to just drop everything and go home. And rather than counsel me and have me pump the brakes a little bit, they did it under distress. They did it when I wasn't in the right frame of mind. I should have gone to counseling. I shouldn't have given up my Marine Corps career. I'd probably still be a Marine. But here's the kick. All right. So I got out. They said that they would get me out and get me home as soon as possible to help me take care of my parents. That never happened. I had to wait until my rotation date to leave. After I got out of the brig for 25 days, I had to stay there and work for another 3 months before I got sent home. By that time, my parents were doing okay again. My mom was healing. She was still working with a broken leg. My dad had gotten out of the hospital. And here I was coming home to a family that was doing just fine without me. And I threw my entire career away because I wasn't very happy at that one moment in time. But it taught me a lesson. It taught me that I need to be a little more patient when making decisions with your life. But then again, you also need to be aggressive, which is something that took me a long time to learn. This is the longest job I've had, being a meat cutter for Safeway, in my entire life. Don't be sorry, Angie. No, you don't need to be sorry for my actions. You don't need to be sorry at all. Please, don't be sorry. Things work out. Think of it this way. If I wouldn't have had that happen, if I wouldn't have been in that situation, would I be here now today with a loving wife and my kids and my granddaughter? I would never have that. I would be doing something else. You know, there's a reason why I had to go through those trials and tribulations of my life, those life experiences. Now here's this part. You know, my son knew all this growing up. He took on the moniker. He joined the Air Force. It was very hard for him to get into the military. Very hard because of his medical history and a bunch of other stuff. But my son served for the Air Force, got out of boot camp, went to 3 MOS schools because he couldn't find the right one to fit his aptitudes. Let's just put it that way. Ended up finding a job, doing it well, and then got hurt playing football, an intramural football game, and tore his ACL. Recovered from that, and then because he was who he was, the military basically had a bunch of people like sergeants and stuff that wanted him out. So they kind of found a way to get him out. He denied the military. He never took the vaccine. He's never officially gotten COVID, I think, but he's never taken the vaccine due to religious beliefs. Now, you might think that's strange, especially in the military. He also had a shaving chit, and for military, he could grow a beard. So he was in a new modern type of military being led by a bunch of guys who were more traditional. And they didn't like that. They're like, well, I didn't have to do that when I was his age. You know, but he was also older than most people than when they went in. I mean, my son's going to be 27 in April. So when he went in, he was probably 5 to 6 years older than your average recruit. And so people looked at him as a leader already because he's big and tall and you know, listens to orders, does what he's told to do, but he still has an opinion. He still has a thought. So that didn't really jive well with a lot of people. But he's the type of person who says, look, despite having all the experiences I've had in my life, I wouldn't change it because it would change who I am today. And I like who I am. Now, ultimately, there's things in my life that I want to change for the better. But being Big Nate is okay. I mean, I like being who I am. I'm okay with my skin, even though there's a lot of it. I mean, I've got twice the skin volume as most humans do. Sometimes 3. It depends on if you're from Asia or not. But, you know, a lot of people don't know. A lot of people don't know that, you know, I weigh over 500 pounds. Be nice to yourself. Look, I'm my own worst critic, and I will always be my own worst critic. I hold myself to a higher standards for a lot of things. The one thing I've never been able to get over is this weight. Now, part of it's genetic, part of it's health, part of it's, you know, just emotional damage. It is what it is. So, but I've been losing weight. I've been doing better. I feel pretty good right now, despite taking a handful of pills every night to keep me this way. But I'm sleeping better. I'm progressing better. My legs look better than they ever have. I have edema, so I get these sores from water damage, basically. Hey, Aaron, how's it going, buddy? I'm just doing my show. I'm trying to do as I was telling everybody, I'm doing a stream now, and I'm trying to stream every day, at least for 30 minutes for a week. It's my week challenge. I set a goal for 30 days. That was too much. I wasn't able to complete that. But I'm on day 2. I've got 2 days in the books, 5 to go. And I'm going to be doing streams like this every day that I can. And I want to get to the first 7, and then we'll take it from there. But it's good to see you. I've already been on the air for a good amount of time. Probably over an hour now. Jeez. How long have I been on? I got to go check. Let's see how long I've been on. Wow. Look at that. An hour and 6 minutes. Yeah, an hour and 6 minutes. We talked about the Baltimore bridge collapse, which I'm sure you're going to be right on with those federal contracts to get out there and fix that bridge, Aaron, because you are a construction genius. You can figure that shit out for us. Yeah, if nothing, I can talk. That is correct. I can talk. I can talk. Yes, I do. Okay, I need some okay, I need menu ideas. The wife's asking menu ideas. I need to have menu ideas this week. What do you think we should have? Each of you get a choice here. So, Aaron, I need I think chicken Caesar sounds really good. She asked me if I want pasta and soup, and I was like, pasta soup. Pulled pork sandwiches for Angie. Oh, Angie says pulled pork sandwiches, which I am really good at making pulled pork sandwiches. Just so you guys know, I have a recipe. I guess it'd be better than pulled dork sandwiches. Ham or ribeye? Let's just go ham. Let's see. No, I said tacos. No, I know you said tacos. If you read in the comments, Angie said pulled pork sandwiches. I did not see tacos. Aaron says tacos. So she's asking about Easter, which I'll probably have to work. I don't know if I'm working Easter or not. But Easter Sunday's this Sunday, and she asked if we should have ham or tacos, or not tacos, or ham or rib roast. I'm not feeling rib roast. I think I'm just going to go with a ham. Keep it easy. That was last week. Anyway, if I'm going to make tacos, though, I'm off to an inspection. Have a good day. Thank you, Aaron, for being here. Appreciate you, buddy. Take care. Oh, tears down. That means I got to go walk the dogs. That's good timing, right? Angie Kimple, I thought you were taking a nap. What the hell? Come here, Tear. You want to say hi to everybody? Hey, buddy. You want to go outside? You want to see my puppies? Let's see if I can show you my puppies. Come here, Tear. Tearness. All right, he took off. Screw him. Dumb dog. My son needs me to take him out. That's no problem. I have to see if Darwin's planning to cooking anything. Okay. All right. I was distracted there for a minute. Anyway, let's recap. We're getting ready to sign off here. I want to thank everybody for being here today. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Angie. Thank you, Otnil Torres of Bedhead Gaming. I just want to thank everybody. Thanks all for being here. For 2 E's. Be buzz. There we go. That was just one of those things. Okay. She doesn't know that I'm. And let me just tell her. Finishing the stream. Let's see here. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me again here on Big Nate Streaming Circus. Remember, 7-day challenge. That's me streaming every day, at least 30 minutes. For the first 7 days, I've got 2 down, 5 to go. And if you can join me on Facebook, great. If you can join me on YouTube, great. She's bugging me. She's not even watching me on. You know what? I'm going to show her exactly what's going on so that she knows what I'm doing. There. Okay. Boom. There. You happy? I haven't even really got into the inviting people to come watch me either. So my numbers are going to go up. Okay. And, but we're going to do everything. We're going to watch, we're going to do movie reviews. We're going to do music reviews. We're going to do news reviews. It's going to be kind of a eclectic show of a menagerie of different shit that I can come up with. But of course, your shit's important. So make sure you let me know what your shit is. So I hope that works for you. Does that sound good? Okay. All right. Let's sign off so I can take care of the wife's stuff. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye. And have a wonderful day. Ha ha. Here we go. We're signing out.